This is my free time.
Board games, Legos. Hey everyone, it's your girl Emily Crow with iHeartRadio, and welcome back to my virtual studio. Today we're joined by social media sensation and musical artist Gabriel Conte. Hi Gabriel, thank you so much for being here.
How you doing? Thanks for having me, Emily.
I'm good. It's good to see you. You know, last year you released an album. We didn't get a chance to connect, so I'm so happy. We have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah.
But I want to start with the albums. You released Belong last November. Tell me a little bit about the aftermath of having this music out into the world.
The aftermath, oh my gosh. I think the coolest part for me is definitely the response that I'm getting on social media, since, you know, nothing's in person. I can't do shows or anything like that. So just seeing people's reaction on social media and online is really cool. I definitely poured my heart into the album and some of the, you know, stuff that I went through, some struggles that I went through and stuff. So seeing people respond to that and connect with it has been really, really touching and really cool, and just kind of gives me confirmation that, you know, pouring my heart out like that wasn't the wrong thing to do. And it is super touching to know that what the art that you've made has impacted people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned you started that project in one of the toughest seasons of your life. How was that as a creator, you know, knowing what you're going through and channeling that into art? What did that look like for you?
It was super therapeutic, because I was going through a season of depression that I had never experienced that before, and I ended up taking a bunch of time off. I was kind of like forced to, in a way, because I just like hit a brick wall. And in that time of letting myself breathe, I naturally started gravitating towards, like, I like creating things. So I had never actually written music before. I'm a musician, but I had never written music, and that was something, giving myself that time and that space and just like a clear mindset allowed me to try and tackle things that I just naturally wanted to do. And it first started out actually in the form of like poetry, just kind of writing my thoughts down, and that led to putting, you know, chords behind it, and then I was like, okay, wait, this stuff I think it's good. I'm biased, but I think it's okay.
No, don't worry. It's great. We can confirm.
Thank you. And and then that, you know, one thing led to another, and 10 songs later, I was like, oh, I think I have an album.
Yeah, I mean, and you, like you said, you touch on going through anxiety and depression, which is something a lot of people can relate to. Why was that important for you to share with your fans? Because you do have such a large following and such a large fan base.
Yeah, I don't know. I tend to really want to work on things that have purpose behind it. And being that was such a like loud season of my life, just putting my heart on paper and into the music was just a natural thing for me to do. I don't think it was really a calculated decision. It was just kind of a natural thing that I've done, and I've always tried to put my heart into anything that I create. So being able to do that with music was a cool new adventure, and something that I'm probably never gonna stop doing, because it's just like it's so amazing, so creative, so fulfilling, but also so therapeutic. Yeah. And whenever I do kind of get into a rut, writing is something that I go to a lot, because it just really helps get everything that's like in my heart and in my head out, you know?
Dang, that's powerful. One of my favorite quotes, my first boss when on campus, I went to University of Georgia, he said, "I never know what I think till I see what I say," which is a lot to process, wow. But it's so good, because like sometimes you're not even sure how you're feeling until you like see it written down. You're like, oh wait, that's the word to that emotion.
Yeah, that's so funny that you say that, because I recently got advice on like journaling and just...
I started journaling this year.
I was just told to like write. You just start writing, and it doesn't matter if it's a few sentences or a page or whatever, just like write, and you'll kind of know, you'll see what you're feeling on the paper and what you're thinking and stuff.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Really cool.
I mean, and you're a creator through and through. So let's talk about your YouTube channel, Jess and Gabriel, which is super successful, really fun to watch. And by the way, do you know that your wedding video has 18 million views? It has a lot of views on there.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, we never expected it to blow up like that, but
yeah, it's amazing.
Some people just randomly, even 4 years later in public, if we meet someone and they're like, "Oh, I love your videos. Found you from your wedding video." It's like, "Oh, sick, thanks."
On that same note, like that's so interesting to me. How do you decide for your channel and for you what you share personally and what you choose to put out there, and even like sharing these intimate moments with the world? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I don't. At the beginning, Jess and I really put a lot out, and over time, we started feeling that it was not invasive, like that we were showing too much or being too honest. We just needed to, because it is our job, and we needed a clear like difference between, okay, now we're working on work and now this is our life. Which is really tough because work is us and our brand and our life and our personal life and our home and all of that stuff. So
you had to set boundaries before of like, actually, you know what, let's not include that, or like, let's not go there.
If something happens while filming that we think should be in there, we'll be like, okay, we'll cut that out. But typically we do try and live we don't want to be hypocritical in any way. So we're never trying to like fake our audience out or lie to them to look better. We truly try and live by the way that we represent ourselves online.
And now you also just celebrated 4 years, right? 4 years of marriage?
Yeah, in December.
Congratulations, so exciting. What advice would you give to other couples right now, especially during quarantine, living in close quarters? What have you found with you and Jess that you think works that might work for some other people?
Oh my gosh, that works for us. One thing Jess and I have been doing recently actually is we have decided that we're going to try and spend, whether it's like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever, we're just gonna spend some time catching up from the day. Because working together, we're together a lot most of the time, but it's all kind of work related and it's time, but it's not quality time.
Yeah.
So at night, being able to kind of just like pause before we turn on a Netflix show or something, just pause and just communicate with each other and recap on the day and how we're feeling and just kind of emotionally checking in with each other is a really good habit that we've been trying to implement. And some nights, like last night, I was in bed and asleep before Jess got to bed because she had to finish working on a video or something. But we try and do that as many nights as possible.
No, that's great advice, because you forget sometimes when you're like being in close proximity to someone isn't the same as like spending good time with them.
Yeah, you surprisingly forget to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Which is like actually talk instead of just like passively talk. Yeah.
And okay, so now I want to go back to your music and your content creation for a second, because you said something before that struck me, that music touched you in a way that your content creation never did. And that was really interesting to me. Why do you think that is? Because I feel like obviously there's all different types of art and content creation, but why do you think music was so powerful to you?
When creating content, it's what you're doing is talking, and on YouTube it's for me, I don't want to like constantly, like we were open and we shared what was going on and stuff, but sharing so much and all those intimate details is, especially when it comes to stuff like depression and the very specific things that you're dealing with, it's not something you just want to turn on a camera and film. You know what I mean? So being able to do that through music was just different, because when creating that form of content, you're kind of sitting alone in a room or whatever. It was just me and a guitar and a pen and a paper, and I was able to create the content in a closed environment where I could really just like spill everything out, and then also just like the form of media that it's released in, music, not that it's more acceptable to like talk about those things, but I guess it's more palatable to kind of receive those types of messages and more poetic sort of, just more of a poetic sort of verbiage in a song, you know.
Totally. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we are still open about those kinds of things in our videos, but it's just different. You're able to like approach them differently, you know.
And you mentioned too taking a long break from YouTube and creating. How did you know when was the right time to come back?
Yeah, I don't know. Like Jess and I kept making videos on our channel, and that was the one thing that when I took a big break, that was the one thing that I did keep doing on my personal channel. I didn't post for over 2 years, I think. And it just felt right. It was at the point where I felt like I had enough balance and I was working on, you know, the things that I was passionate about, and I wasn't, I guess, overloading my plate with things. And it was a time where I was like, okay, this is another layer I can add back into what it is that I'm doing. And I not that I didn't feel guilty about it, because I obviously wanted to make content on my channel, but I didn't feel as guilty about it because people were still able to keep up with us through those 2 years of me not making content through the content we were making on Jess and Gabriel. Yeah.
And now you have something exciting coming out. You're working on your craft. You're starting a podcast. So tell us a little bit about your upcoming podcast.
Well, it's with iHeart.
So exciting. We love that.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, the story behind that, when Jess and I were in Australia in 2019, we were helping our family move, and I was with my buddy Zach, and it was us two kind of driving back and forth between my in-laws' old house and their new house, just like picking stuff up and dropping it off, picking stuff up and dropping it off. And we were just having like a bunch of conversations back and forth, and I don't know, there like tended to be a topic that we would talk about between like on each leg of the drive. And then I was like, man, this could be a podcast. Like everything that we're talking about, this is dope. And then I had the thought, and I was like, wait, okay, pretend we're recording a podcast right now. And then I slapped the dashboard and I was like, okay, boom, we're recording, go. And I threw out a topic or something, I forget what it was, but threw out a topic. And we just started talking about it. And actually the whole 40-minute drive, we just kind of like talked and had a great conversation. All three of us are married now, and we're all Christian, and we all are pretty entrepreneurial. So just a lot of the conversations we have with each other are often seen as separate. Just natural conversations are often seen as separate. Like, you know, you have like relationships and family and friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you have, you know, faith and spirituality, and then you have business and entrepreneurship. The podcast is called Prompt Us, and we're taking topics that the audience wants to hear and creating a space within that like genre, and like basically just have conversations around how faith and entrepreneurship and your personal life all intersect and benefit each other. And we just think it's really going to be a cool environment for a lot of people, like young adults who don't have those conversations often, but want to and don't know who to talk to about it, or maybe, you know, other people in their circles aren't specifically interested in those things. And we just think it's going to be a cool environment for people to come and listen to and feel heard and just encourage, really.
And cool too that you guys are all in very similar stages of your life, so it's experiencing it together where you're like, oh wait, that happened to you too? Same, you know. That's like I feel like a very rare thing when, you know, your close friends are also on the same page as you are.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I feel so blessed to be able to do this with my closest friends.
That's great. Cool. Well, we're so excited for you. And then, okay, so we have the podcast coming out. What else can we expect from you this year?
Oh my gosh, this year, more music. That's in the works. So yeah, haven't mentioned that anywhere, but you know, Here we go.
Well, tell us some more details, Phil.
I don't know if I can. I mean,
That's
I'm gonna be
okay.
recording
I
stuff
pressure.
soon, but yeah, that more music.
Okay, so Gabriel, before we let you go, I thought we could do a quick rapid fire.
Yeah, down.
Okay, here we go. Gabriel, what was your first concert?
First concert, Reliant K.
Oh, wow. I used to love their music. I haven't thought about them in a while. Best date you've ever been on?
Best date I've ever been on. When I proposed to Jess.
Oh, shoot. Good. Watch the vlog, everyone. Okay. Best advice you've ever received?
Best advice I've ever received. Marry Jess. Yeah.
Great.
When I introduced my friends to Jess for the first time, a lot of them were like, marry her. I was like, okay.
And you took the advice and it worked. So great. Biggest splurge in your home?
Oh, my Lego sets.
Lego sets?
Yeah, I collect Star Wars Legos.
Where are they built? Do you build them?
Or like, are they?
Yeah, so I build them. I have one in the corner of my office right now.
Can you show us? Can you bring it in? I kind of want to see this. Oh shoot. Oh, so this is a Lego?
Yeah. So this is my free time.
Board games, Legos. Okay, last one for you. Is the first place you want to visit post-quarantine?
Australia.
Oh, I love that. Do you guys have a favorite place? Where Jess's hometown is?
Brisbane.
Okay, is that your favorite place in Australia?
Yeah, because our family's there. But there's like some really cool beaches and stuff that we've gone to close by that are, like individual, like small locations, like, oh, this beach or, that island. Because it's just Australia is so beautiful.
I've never been.
Yeah, so we're excited to go back.
Okay, Gabriel, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on the album and the new podcast. Can't wait to listen to that on iHeart. And thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to stream all of Gabriel's music and his new podcast on iHeartRadio. And Gabriel, we'll see you next time.
See ya. Woo.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye guys.